Welcome back to Forbidden Depths. I'm your host, Queen Frostbit, and we're here today to get down, dirty, and sultry by staying open, educated, consensual, and safe. If you're returning, welcome back to another episode, and if you're new, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe, because one taste will never be enough. Guys, I have an amazing treat for you tonight. I have an amazing client, very consistent, and I'm going to tell you, we're going to dig into some juicy depths on today's podcast. I'm pretty excited about it. I do want to go ahead and introduce this amazing individual. I'll kind of let him introduce himself to you. If you could go ahead, Kevin, and tell us a little bit about kind of who you are. What are you into?
Well, like you said, my name is Kevin. I've been pretty much doing this since, if we want to go deep, it'd be 2013-ish, I want to say,
Okay.
2013-ish. I happened to find you on Instagram. I can't remember how, but it was on Instagram. And yeah, that was like 2016, and the rest is history after that. But yeah.
So tell me about what you like. What
What I
makes you
like.
tick? Yeah. Tell me about these kinks. Tell me the juicy stuff. So first I want you to talk to me about what they are, and then let's talk about their development. So your kinks overall, you've been working with me for a while now. So
Yes.
I kind of know quite a bit about your desires, but let's talk to the viewers about it. So Forbidden Depths is a lot about education, acceptance, awareness, and just overall loving yourself as an individual. So whenever we're pulling up like the kinks, where they're coming from, kind of the therapy that they're providing, you're helping people with this service. Not everybody understands that. So
Hmm.
I was super excited that you agreed to come on today because you're an amazing case of that. We get to see just this real well-rounded individual that just fucking loves kink.
So first of all, I want to start off by saying at first, I was shy about it. Like I was literally like shy about it and
Right.
somewhat like embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
But once I met the right people, I started to, you know, break out of that shell. And then once I started to break out of that shell, I started to become, more comfortable,
Hmm.
expressing it towards other people.
Right.
And the first step is accepting it and
Hmm.
embracing it and becoming comfortable with it. Because once you become comfortable with it, then you know you're not going to you know sit there and feel embarrassed about it
Right.
like I was, because like I said, I was embarrassed by it. But the more I got to talk to people and interact with other people about it, and talk to
Hmm.
them about it, you know they made me that made me more comfortable. And I
Yeah.
started to break out of my shell. And that's
Mm.
what you got to do. You got to break out of your shell,
Yeah.
because if you don't break out of your shell, then you're just gonna you're just gonna be in that same spot, and you
Right.
don't want that.
100%. So that's kind of like you understanding, hey, I'm not the only person in the world that feels like this. Let me go ahead, talk to this community. Whenever you talk to the community, they're like, you feel shame for this. Why do you feel shame for this? Like we all have things
Yeah.
that we like.
Hmm.
It's just people like different things. Like me, oh my goodness, I have a giant list. I could give you a giant list of what I'm into, but I mean, the podcast isn't about me. So, so kind of tell us where your desires with kink started. Like, how did you know that you had a kink, and what was the first one that you were kind of drawn to?
Um, it would have to go back to when I was, I want to say it was when I was a kid, but at the time, I didn't understand it. But,
Right,
as I started to grow up and, understand and understand what it actually was, I was like, oh, okay, that's what it was.
right.
And like the thing that I like the most is I can't help it. I don't care, but I just like I have a foot fetish, so
Hmm.
I can't help it. I just love pretty feet, and
Yeah,
I was like I said, I was embarrassed by that.
right.
And when I talked to the right people and they helped me, express that, then I became more comfortable and, I'm not embarrassed like I used to be.
Right. So I know you had this kind of early on. It didn't turn into like the sexual attraction. You were just kind of attracted to feet, and then it turned into sexual.
hmm
What's something that you kind of noticed about it? Like what makes you notice feet?
Um, it, I mean, like pretty much like when I pretty much anytime I see a female,
Hmm.
that's like the first thing that I look at.
Okay.
That's like the first thing that I look at. And, of course, the thoughts in my head, I'm judgment, the thoughts are going through my head. I'm either saying that, I'm either saying that they're pretty or they're ugly. I'm just being
Hmm.
honest. I'm either
Right.
saying they're pretty or they're ugly. And then if they do, then, sometimes I'll go up to that individual and give them a compliment. Not all the
Right.
time. Sometimes I just let them know. I say, hey, hey, you have pretty feet, and then I let them know.
Yeah.
Most of the times that I have done that, I've gotten a response, and people have, thanked me for saying that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what a lot of females don't know is that that when you have pretty feet, like I mean, it can attract a lot of people's eyes. It
Hmm.
it it can attract a lot of people's eyes because uh, feet is just like titties.
Hmm.
It's just like any other body part. Your titties, ass, pussy.
Yeah.
It's just like those. But it can catch people's eyes like really quick. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't like really describe it, but it's just something about it that, when you like, it can catch people's eyes. Like
Right.
I have, seen people that they're not even in the feet. They're not even in the feet. And
Hmm.
I've seen them come out and say, like, I've never seen someone with such pretty feet. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I've seen that before. So, I
So
mean,
what are some things that you classify like characteristics for pretty feet? Like, do you like nails a certain way? Do you like bare toes? Do you like painted toes? Is there like something that you prefer with the arches? Tell us what you think pretty is.
um, oh, that's kind of hard to describe, to be honest. Like, 'cause that's like really hard for me to describe because I mean,
Because you're a connoisseur of feet. You just love them all.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, I just like every aspect of it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, I just like every aspect of it. So it's like kind of hard for me to go into like real details about it because, like I said, I just like everything about it,
Mhm.
and yeah, I just like everything about it. Like,
So toes or soles?
um, ooh,
Okay.
ah, I probably have to say toes.
Okay.
yeah, I would probably have to say toes.
Now, if anybody into feet is listening, then you kind of know what we're talking about. If you don't, um, there's this like forever battle with the foot fetish community. Some people say soles are better, some people like toes better, but it's really individual preference. It's like anything else. It's like other parts of the body that people like, like some people like small boobs and they like the full tit itself, and then other people just kind of want to pay more attention to the nipple. It's one of those things where it's like an individual preference, so it's something that the person is attracted to. I, for
Yep.
one, like toes too. So so we have that in common. Um I do tend to like bare nails more because I feel like you can really tell a lot by someone's feet, how well they're
Hmm.
maintained. And I like
Yeah,
the
that is
bare
true.
nail because you can tell whether they take care of their skin or not. If they cover the paint or cover it with paint, it's hard to see under there.
That is true. Yep. That is a very good point that you just brought up. That is very true.
And a lot of people, a lot of in the fetish community for feet, like them painted. I don't like them painted. I like to be able to see what's underneath. I'm a
Hmm.
farmer, so I use my hands a lot.
Yeah.
Listen, my hands are in all kinds of places. So for me, it's I want to know how much effort you put in yourself because that's going to say how much effort you're going to put in me. So
Yeah.
I like the bare nails. How do you feel about that? What do you like about polish, and do you prefer polish or bare?
Um, to be honest, I prefer polish, but I mean, like I mean, you did bring up a pretty like valid point. Like, bare toes. Like, some people know that they don't have bare toes, so they paint it just to make it look good
Yep.
and disguise it.
Yep.
And when they don't have the paint on, then like
False
I can't.
advertisement. It's false
Yeah,
advertisement.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, false advertisement. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even gonna lie. There was like some girls that I've seen that had their toes painted, and when they didn't have it painted, and I was looking at them, I was like, okay, that's false advertisement. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're playing me right now.
Yeah.
Like, I talk about like my heart sank like so bad,
Mm,
like because I was like so disappointed. I was like, I
well, that's like
was like,
the people that wear like the padded bras and stuff. I understand
yeah,
it. It's for your look. I mean, shit, I have a padded bra that I wear for streams sometimes. I get it.
hmm,
But in the long run, like if this is somebody that you're pursuing, you need to let them know. That's like if you have surgery on a part of your body, you need to let the person know that you're with, hey, this is what I look like before. And I just wanted to let you know up front because that's your genetics. Like if you have kids with
yeah,
this person, they're going to have your traits. Like I need to know what those kids are going to look like. I'm not,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm not like saying that people shouldn't be able to accommodate themselves because I'm all for body modification, natural bodies. I'm all for be whatever the fuck you want to be. Just be
Hmm.
happy, consensual, safe, happy. Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah, that,
not everyone feels like that.
yeah. I mean, that's how I am. That's how I am too. Like, I
Mm,
mean, you can, like whatever you like. There
right.
are some things that I like and there are some things that I don't like. And just because I don't like something, I'm not going to sit there and, bash you for something that you like.
Yeah,
And
100%.
I'm not going to sit there and bash you
There doesn't need
on
to
it.
be any kind of like kink shaming or just shitting
Yeah.
on somebody just because they're different. Like I had
Yeah.
enough of that in my life. I had enough to last a fucking lifetime. I don't need any more. And if somebody in the community has some kind of shit to say, I'm just like, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah.
You
That's
do
the same
you.
attitude. That's the same attitude that I have. Like, because, like I said, I like feet and,
Mhm.
some, there's a lot of people that are judgmental about that. And when
Yeah.
they say that, I'm like, well, at first, yeah, I felt embarrassed, but
Right.
now that I've embraced it, I'm like, well, you know what? I don't care. I like you.
Yeah,
You
for
can sit there
real.
and judge me. You can sit there and judge me all you want to. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep doing me. I'm gonna keep doing me, and you can keep
Mm.
doing you.
You're right, 100%. And you should. Fuck those people. So
Yeah, man.
with going back to your fetish, I know you said that you've accepted it for yourself. Did you expose any of your like mates or friends with benefits or just a friend? Did you ever confide in anyone with your fetish and them be supportive?
Um, yeah, I had a couple friends that I have told them about it.
Mm.
But by the time that I had told them, I was like, or I was already comfortable, talking to them about it. And
Right.
at the time that I wanted to tell, like really wanted to tell them, I was like, you know, shy about it. And like
Mhm.
the reaction, like when I told them about it, like the reaction that I got from them, I was like, holy shit, I did not expect you to say that. Like I was shocked. Like
Yeah.
they told me that they I literally sat there and told them, I was like, hey, I'm in the feed. Don't judge me. And they came
Right.
back and said, oh, they was like, oh, that's fine. I don't care. I like showing off my feet. Anyways,
Yeah.
I was like, what? I was like,
Let me
what?
dangle
Hey?
these.
Yeah, I was like, hey? So yeah, I've got so like when they told me that I have like all these thoughts going on in my head, I'm like, I wish I would have told you this a long time ago.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm
A
saying?
little bit
And
of
cause like,
remorse set in.
and yeah, it's like it's a lot of remorse because now they're like in a whole different state now,
Mhm.
and at the time that I wanted to tell them, I was all shy and stuff, and then when I finally tell them, now they're in a different state, and I'm like, God damn it,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, God damn it, man. But yeah, and just like I said, like don't feel ashamed. Don't feel
Mm.
ashamed. You know what I'm saying? Just get comfortable with it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There's no need for you to feel embarrassed by it. Like there's no need
Yes.
for you to feel embarrassed by it. It doesn't matter what it is. Don't feel embarrassed about it. Just
And
do
let
you.
me tell you, there's always going to be somebody out there that has a weirder fetish or a weirder kink than you do. Like
Exactly.
there's always going to be somebody that's like,
Exactly. Exactly. There it's probably and then like the thing about that is probably gonna be something that you probably even never heard of.
yeah.
And yeah, and then like I mean again, don't don't feel bad because like I've done a lot of research like around this
Hmm.
whole area and a lot of people don't know. Like I did it like I Googled it. I
Hmm.
Googled in foot fetish because I was
Hmm.
like I said I was concerned
Right. Right.
and from what I found, which a lot of people don't know, it's one of the most common fetishes out there.
Yes.
It's
I
one of the
preach this
common.
all the time. I'm like, people come up to me and they're, well, message me or in real life whenever they're applying for a real life session and they're like, I'm into feet. Is that weird? And I'm like, almost
No,
everybody's into feet.
yeah, it's not. And like when I say common, I'm talking about it's number one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might find that shocking, but it's some people might find that shocking, but it's actually true. Like I did the research behind this. Like it's
Yep.
number one as in terms of the common fetish. Like feet is like number one. It's way up there.
Yeah. Like, well, I remember whenever I first got into being a dom, I did all kinds of research. Like I'm gonna tell you, I spent hours and hours and hours and hours educating myself. I still educate myself. I mean, shit, we're here educating ourselves. So
Yeah,
it's one of those things where if you have a hunger for it, you're gonna keep trying to learn. So I was looking at, the most common fetish and what different types of fetish were and how kink and fetish were different. And most people don't know how kink and fetish are different.
yeah,
So that's another one of those things that if you don't know, you can do a simple Google search because Google
Hmm.
has all kinds of information now. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't
Google
like it
tell you
was
everything.
back in the 90s, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Back in the 90s, I think I think back in the 90s we had the only thing that was like
mm,
close to Google was freaking Yahoo. But Yahoo
yeah,
didn't like really, yeah, Yahoo didn't like go like
you
in
couldn't
depth
do
like
shit.
Google.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I mean, there was fucking dial up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, yeah, yeah. Google. I mean, Google did exist around in the 90s, but it wasn't like in depth like it is now.
Mm-hmm.
You
And it was
know,
much harder to find things. It's like some things were like
exactly.
compressed and you had to go over here and you had to know where to
Yeah,
look. And now it's literally you just type
you
in
just type it
feet.
in. Yeah, yeah. You just type it in, and then oh, it give you a whole catalog.
Yeah. Yeah. And it'll give you like statistics. You can look up statistics. You can look up like the reason people are attracted to feet because there's a shit ton of information on there. Trust me,
Yep,
there's a shit ton of information.
yep.
So whenever you are curious about your own interest, whether it's kink, fetish, or if you're just curious about someone else, you can
Hmm.
literally Google it. If you're scared to ask someone, Google it, get you a little bit of
Yeah.
information. And then you can actually reach out to outside sources after that, after you're more confident. But the only way for you to understand if something's for you or not is to dive in and do a little bit of research.
Hmm. Yep. Because the first step in embracing what you're into is breaking out of your shell.
Hmm.
Once you break out of that shell, then everything will just fall into place, and then you'll start to build confidence, and you won't feel the way that you did, before.
Yes, 100%. I agree. So let's kind of talk about your provider experience. Whenever you got into more open with searching for somebody to fill your need, was it hard for you to find a provider and how did you go about looking for one?
Um, yeah, I would say it was at the time. It was hard
Hmm.
because like when I well when I saw someone that I liked, and then when I asked them for what I wanted, you
Hmm.
know, they kind of didn't put a lot of effort into it.
Okay.
Like they were more into getting the money than,
Uh,
actually, you know, making quality,
right.
content that, that'll keep people coming back. And that's
Yeah.
something that a lot of people need to understand. If you think that you're just gonna come in here for the money, I'm just telling you right now, you need to change your mindset real quick
Yeah.
because that's not gonna happen. If the
Right.
money is what's all on your mind, I can tell you right now, you're looking for a career suicide right there.
Yeah.
Don't sit
That's
here
with
and think that
anything, like
yeah,
anything that you
don't
go at. Yeah.
yeah, don't sit there and do that. I'm telling you right now, don't do it.
Well,
That is a
and what
great
they
way
don't
to
understand is maybe they will make a sell, maybe they will make 10
yeah,
sales, but they're not going to keep consistent clients, right?
yeah, exactly. And if you want to if you want to have consistent clients come, you have to put the effort into your work.
Mm,
When you put the effort into your work, watch how fast people will keep coming back to you, and
hmm.
not even come back to you. They'll also get other people
Yeah.
to, buy stuff from you. And
Yeah.
that's the number one thing that a lot of people need to understand. That's the number one thing that a lot of people need to understand is if you make quality content, it'll speak for itself.
Yes.
Yeah, the person that's making it doesn't even have to say anything. All they
Yeah.
have to do is just put it out, and then your work will do the rest.
Yeah. Yes. Because word of mouth is fucking huge. And I've noticed that the majority of the foot community is positive, supportive. Now, there are those off motherfuckers that are just shit bags. I've run
Oh
across a
yeah,
couple of those, like the
yeah, I
foot
see that
critic
all the
guy
time.
that's just a fucking piece of shit that just goes and
Yeah.
shits on people's stuff. Like he don't even say stuff that's like legitly like out of place or wrong. He's just there like, oh, your feet are ugly because of this. And there's nothing wrong with their feet.
Yeah, I mean, for those, I mean, that's a great. I'm actually glad that you brought that up because like I've seen that a lot. Like you just got these. I'm gonna call them jackasses because that's what they are. They're fucking jackasses. That just come in and they just they ain't got nothing else better to do but to talk shit about other people.
Yeah.
Like if that's if that's how you live your life, then I don't know what I don't know what happened.
They
I
need
mean,
therapy.
they need more than therapy. They need more than therapy. I can tell you that right now. They need more than therapy for you to just literally sit here and message someone just to talk shit to them. Like,
Yeah.
where is this energy coming from?
They
Like,
got
you must have
mommy or
not.
daddy issues. And that's what it all boils down to. I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm
Yeah,
saying that because it's true, because it
it's
stems
true.
from trauma. And I mean, that's what all of this is about. You can
Yeah,
get development of kink from trauma, you can get development of fetish from trauma. You can be like these jackasses and be like, oh, well, let me just go shit on everybody else's parade because, maybe mommy and daddy didn't give me enough attention. And it all boils back to the psychological need for attention
mm-hmm.
because whether it's positive or negative, you're giving them attention, which is exactly what they want.
Yep.
And the majority of the time they probably have some kind of humiliation fetish.
More than likely, I wouldn't be surprised.
And then on top of that, there's just all these pent up emotions that they don't know how to deal with, that they've probably never been taught to deal with. And
Yeah,
they just want to shit on everybody else. Like,
yeah,
I
and
am
be
not about shitting on other people unless I'm getting paid to shit on other people.
yeah, that's a whole different story.
If I'm getting paid, then it's a consensual contract between me and this person. It is
Yeah,
saying,
exactly.
let me provide this for you because it's a form of therapy you need. And in that environment, we have an agreement. We're like, I'm providing this service, you're buying this service, and both of us are going to be happy. I'm going to be happy making it for you. I'm going to be compensated. My time is going to be paid for. And then you are going to have this amazing product.
Exactly. And you don't, again, like, stop shitting on people. Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's basically the message that I'm going to put out. Stop shitting on people. Stop sitting here going on people's Instagram or whatever platform they're on. Stop going on
Mhm.
their platforms, sitting here, just talking shit to them. Like,
Yeah. And if you're somewhere you don't want to be, just leave.
exactly.
Like, you
Like,
don't
you
even
don't
have to
even
be
have to.
there.
Yeah, you don't even have to be there. You don't even got to sit there and put your 2 cents in. Like, if you
Yeah.
see something you don't like, just stop looking at it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just
Keep
basic
fucking
common
scrolling.
sense. But
Keep fucking scrolling.
nowadays everybody got to put their 2 cents in, just to get attention.
And that's all it is. They want
Yeah,
they want free
but
attention, which is
yeah,
why a lot of models, whether that be porn stars or camming models or anybody in the adult industry, a lot of them don't even manage their own accounts now because it's so ridiculous. And then the
yeah,
ones that do don't reply to people that leave messages or
hmm
comments. It's because it's so fucking ridiculous. It's exhausting.
yeah. It's very exhausting because the amount of messages that you have to go through, the amount of messages that you go through, because the
And
amount of
then you
messages
have
that you're getting and
people
go through.
talking
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
yeah, and then you have a couple good ones, and then
Hmm.
some shit ones, and then you might just open it up and have a whole bunch of shit people just talking shit, and
Yeah.
that can like mentally drain you, and then it can make you
Yes.
just because I've seen a lot of people that just they just straight up say, what, fuck this, I don't need this shit in my life, and they just left, and I'm like, you
Yeah.
know what, this is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Exactly. Oh my goodness. I have been saying this for so long. Oh, oh.
Because oh my god, like I like there are a lot of people that I have been following,
Hmm.
and I seen them go because they got tired of the shit talkers. People
Or
that
the
like,
people that report their shit over and over.
yeah,
I had 11 Instagram accounts.
yeah. I mean, that's just
You
and then
followed
another,
me for half of them, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, I know. And another thing about that is that, you know, Instagram isn't like it used to be. Like Instagram used to be the holy grail. Now it's just
Yeah.
now they just turn it to a bunch of pansies.
Yeah.
No offense to Instagram, but it's the truth. Like they just turned into a bunch of pansies. Like
Yeah.
you can't. And then like the crazy thing about Instagram is that you can't even say feet. They literally see feet as a bad word, and
Yeah.
they like
Yeah.
I'm like what?
Yeah.
I'm like what? I'm like in what day and age? In what day and age is feet is a bad word?
One of my
Please explain it
accounts
to me.
got banned because of a pair of boots. My feet weren't even showing.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, see, now we just turned sensitive now.
Yeah.
like, because I want to say, like, using Instagram, the holy grail of Instagram was from, I want to say 2000, I want to say 2014 up until 2017. And
Hmm.
that's when 2017 is when Instagram started, you know, cracking down on that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
they started cracking down on it, but they didn't start cracking down hard on it until
Right.
2000 and I think it was 18 or 19. And that's when they started like really cracking down hard on it. And I'm like, okay.
I'm pretty sure I
Okay.
was in some kind of like generator, and anytime I created an account and if Queen Frostbitten was tied to it, I was banned.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just, I mean,
It got bad. It got
yeah,
really bad.
it's just freaking ridiculous to be honest. I've seen more people get banned on Instagram than any other platform.
Mhm. And you know, that makes it super hard if you are an online content creator or if you're a content client, because how are you going to find people if they keep removing them? It's exhausting for
Exactly.
both parties, you
It
know?
is. It is. Cause I mean, even though you have like multiple platforms, I mean, how many people are gonna look at you on Facebook? No, not that many people, you know, not that
Yeah.
many people. And,
Yeah.
you know, and that's why Instagram is like the holy grail, because Instagram is basically, you know, it's basically the picture version of Facebook,
Yeah.
even though Facebook does own Instagram. But I mean, that's a whole different conversation. That's not the point. Like Instagram is basically the picture version of Facebook, and if you can't post, you know, those pictures, then you know, not a lot of people are gonna find you. And like
Mhm.
searching for it on you'll have more luck searching for it on Instagram than you know on Twitter. Like Twitter, I mean, because I tested this out. Like I tried, you know, I typed in a specific, you know, like the specific thing that I was looking for, and I couldn't like. I mean, it showed it, but it wasn't what I was looking for.
Right.
Whereas at the time when Instagram was the holy grail, um, when I typed in on Instagram, I had like a whole freaking catalog of it, and I was like, "This is what I'm looking for," you know. And I found so many people just because of that. But you know, since Instagram turned it to a bunch of pansies, you know, it's kind of hard to find now. As
Right.
well, I shouldn't even say it's kind of hard to find. It is hard to find because Instagram turned it to a bunch of pansies.
It's one of those things where it's like they kind of crippled the way people find things.
Yeah, yeah, they did. And I mean, on my Instagram right now, like I mean, I kind of can sort of find some things, but it's not like it used to be. And
Right.
you know, I mean, I just say, you know what, it is what it is, you know. And I tend to find other people from like other people's Instagrams, like you know, shouting
Oh,
out
yeah.
other people.
Yeah.
But you know, Instagram has a habit of banning people for just doing that too. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, even like Twitter now, if you take and you say you're trying to send a link to 4 or 5 of your friends, if you send that same message to 4 to 5 people, then it's going to flag you as spam and it won't
Yeah,
let you send
yeah.
a message. And like
Mm-hmm.
it seems like all platforms are doing that. Like some of us just want to get information out to masses. We're not trying to spam people or send them all this
Yeah.
kind of like crazy shit. But I mean, what's so ridiculous is it's come to that. And I
Yeah.
mean, I understand why they have it. It's just
Yeah.
annoying whenever you're trying to
Yeah.
send it to multiple people, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, I understand why they're doing it too. You know, they're trying to, all these platforms are trying to crack down on, the whole spamming and, all that
Hmm.
stuff because spamming leads to scamming. And
Yes.
um yeah,
So
and about
actually, let
scamming.
me ask you about that
Yeah.
while I have you talking about scamming in the industry while you've been kind of finding yourself developing your taste and finding providers that kind of cater to you. Have you had many people scam you?
I have I actually had I've actually encountered my first scammer like
Mm.
this past summer
Okay.
because they sent me they wanted to follow me
Hmm.
because I just happened to, check my like my notifications on Instagram and I saw that they wanted to follow me. So, I clicked on it, just to see what they're about. And then, I scrolled down their page and I was like, okay, she seems like a legit person,
Hmm.
I'll give her a chance.
Right.
So, I add her, whatnot. Then the next day I got a message from her and, she was like, hi. And then I said hi back to her. And then she was like, would you like to buy anything from me? And then at first I was like, no, not right now. But,
Right.
I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and test the waters and see how you are. Cause, uh, I need to know what I'm dealing with.
Right.
So, um, I asked her, like, how much do you charge and all that. And that's another thing too. That's another thing too, is that, it's nothing wrong with asking how much you charge. I rather people need to understand that. There's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't sit there and, come up, don't sit there and slide in people's DMs and, request all this shit. And then when they tell you the price and you're not willing to pay that price, then you're sitting here saying, oh, that's too expensive. Okay. First of all, one thing you need to know, I know I'm getting off topic, but
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. I
I'm
want to
getting
hear
to the
this.
point. So when you're sitting here asking for all these stuff, right? And they tell you how much it is. So, for an example, if they tell you the price is $100, you need to respect that $100. Okay,
Yeah.
you need to respect that $100. If you say $100 and you literally come out and you say, "Oh, that's too expensive. I didn't ask for that much." Okay, first of all, go fuck yourself. How about that? First of all, go fuck yourself. Now, it's different if you say how much do you charge for your content. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Now, if you ask that question and then they tell you how much, like if they charge what, $25, what for every I'm gonna just say $25 for every 2 minutes. All right. Now you know what you're dealing with. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
If you just flat out go out and say, "Oh, okay, I want all this stuff. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that." And then when they sit here and they tell you, okay, well, it's $100, you don't sit there and talk about, oh, that's too expensive. It's not
Yeah.
even worth that much. Like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah,
It
for
doesn't
real.
work like that. Like seriously, it does not work like that. And if you're that type of person, I'm gonna tell you right now, you need to stop.
Yes.
You just need to stop.
I
Like
need to
for
give you the
real.
clap.
Yeah. But anyways, back to what I originally was talking about, which was me getting scammed. So she told me how much she charged and whatnot, and then I told her I wanted a what did I ask her? I think I asked her I wanted a 20 no, it was a 5 minute video. So she said that she charges $5 or $25 for every 5 minutes, which I mean to me that's a pretty good deal. But
Yeah. If it's good quality, that's a
yeah, that's
hell of
another
a
thing too.
deal.
That is too. So, I asked her that. So I asked her, I was like, okay, I'll take so I asked her about that and I requested 3 videos from her. She was like, okay. So I sent her the money
Mhm.
through Cash App and then Cash App like right after I send it, the money did go to her.
Mhm.
But right after I sent it, she sent me a message saying that um the money was rejected. And I was like, the money was rejected? What I was like, the fuck do you mean?
Right.
So she sent me a message. She sent me a message And then I got a notification through my email saying that this is a possible scam. And I'm like, what? I was like, it's not adding up. Like, I
Right.
mean, so, I kept, so I resend the money. My first mistake was I probably should have never just send that money back. But anyways, I sent her the money. I sent her that $25 back, and I sent it to her other account, which was I think it was PayPal. And then
Mm,
when I sent it through there, it went through and it didn't get rejected or whatnot. And then I told, I was like, okay, I'm looking forward to see those videos. And then, you
mhm.
know, a day went by, 2 days went by, 3 days went by, 4 days went by. So, I started to get a little concerned. I was like,
Right.
I was like, maybe she's busy or whatnot. So, I
Right.
was, and, I was polite and everything. I asked her, what's going on? I was like, so, are you able to make that video for me?
Yeah.
And like, I didn't get a response for her. And then she replied back and she was like, what video? I'm like, excuse me? Okay.
Yeah.
And then I was like, the video that I brought for you that I paid $25 for. And she was
Mm,
like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, what? I'm
yeah.
like, I went through my messages and whatnot. I sent her the message and she was like, oh, that. She was like, oh, I'm still working on it. And I'm like, okay. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, cool. So the next day, her account ended up getting suspended, or not suspended, just completely banned. That's the
Mm,
word I'm looking for. It got banned. And I'm
mm.
like, you know what? I'm kind of not surprised that her account got banned because
Yeah, right.
yeah, I'm
Sounds
not
like
surprised for that.
sketchy all around. Like
Yeah,
anybody listening, if somebody does this shit to you, just walk away. Walk away.
yeah,
Um,
yes,
and
yeah. So I mean,
don't ever buy shit from people without looking into it and doing research. Like, if you go to their account, there's going to be a spot, like usually if it's a model of some kind, they're going to have a bio, they're going to have some information, and they'll probably have some links. Look for age verified links. That's how you know that this person is legit.
hmm
Look for those things. Do your research. Like, I cannot express this enough. Do your research. Follow people for 6 months, a year before you commit to them, because
yeah,
that's going to save you some time and effort.
hmm And some people try to, do their damnedest to, like hide that they're trying to scam you. Like they'll go through all the links and hoops
Yeah.
and loops and all that, just to hide it. And, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, it can go both ways. It can go from the person that's producing the content and it can go from the person that's buying it,
Yeah. Yes.
because,
100%.
uh, and when I'm talking about the person that's buying it, they can literally sit here and say that, they want this stuff. And then they'll say, I'll send you the money when you send me the video. And some
Yeah. Hell
people
no.
do,
Hell
yeah,
no.
some people, yes. Right there's a red flag. That's what I'm gonna tell you right now. That's a red flag.
Yep.
If they say I'll send
And
you the
if
money
someone
when I
asks for samples first,
yeah, yeah, that's a red flag. Automatically just say, well, you know what? There's a nice conversation, so
this
I'm
ain't a
gonna go
soup
ahead and take
kitchen.
my leave.
This is not a soup kitchen, bitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take my leave right now. So yeah, those are the things that you got to watch out for. So if they say
Mm-hmm.
send me the pics before, and then I'll send you the money, just automatically
Yeah.
just end it right there.
I'm out. Yep. And that's even to this day, even with the amount of my information that is online for people to go through, they're like, I don't know you're a real person. I need you to send me samples for me. No, bitch, you want me to send you free shit that you can jerk to, and you don't want to
Yep.
send me money. Like, I was not born yesterday, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm an intelligent individual. You're not gonna get one over on me.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
there are plenty of new people out there that don't understand how it works.
hmm
Don't send anything before you get the money. And if you're a buyer, do your research before you send the money. Like,
Exactly.
let's all be educated. Let's all work to make it
hmm
a better environment, because I don't like to hear stories about people getting scammed. You know what that means?
Yeah,
That means you're giving somebody on one end of the spectrum a bad name. Like, I don't
exactly.
like anybody having a bad name. I like
And it
everything to
goes,
work.
yeah, and it goes both ways. It goes from the person
Mhm.
that's buying it, and it goes from the person that's creating the content. You know,
Yes,
and
100%.
you know, like just spread the word. If there is someone doing that, then spread the word.
Yes,
Don't do
blacklist,
this. Yeah,
blacklist
spread the
that
word
shit.
because
Mm-hmm.
when you do that, that can go like a long ways. And also, report that asshole and get that account banned. I mean, of course they're gonna do it
Yes.
again, make another account, but I mean that doesn't matter. Just keep doing the same thing. Just
Well,
keep
they
getting
have a
them
really
banned.
cool feature on Instagram, kind of like they do on Facebook now, that says ban accounts or ban this account and any accounts this person creates. So
Hmm.
that's actually a useful feature. I use it all the
Yeah,
time. Use
yeah. I
that.
mean, that would have been a great feature like way back in the day.
Yeah.
It would have been a great feature. But I mean, yeah, you just gotta be aware. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Just
And
make
if
sure
there's
that the
something
person.
fishy, if you feel like it's something that's weird, and if you have like a community you can talk to, ask them, hey, have you talked to this person before? Hey, has this person bought from you before? Hey, has this person sold to you before? Like, talk to those people around you and see if they've had similar experiences. See, like for me, if I sell somebody something, I'm cool with you like writing a review for me. It's
Hmm.
one of those things where I take pride in my work. I like feedback. I like to know, kind of how you felt about it. I like to know that you feel like your money was well spent. And for you to be like, I've had several people comment on my shit and be like, this motherfucker knows what she's talking about when she's creating something for you. I don't
Hmm.
tell anybody to say that. I don't. They literally are just so satisfied. They want to be like, hey, let me go ahead and throw this in there real quick. And it's one of those things we were talking about earlier. Kevin was saying that your work speaks for itself.
Yep,
It
it
does.
does. It does. It
You
goes a
literally
long way.
sell yourself.
It goes a long way. So I mean, you just gotta understand. You just gotta know what to say, and just
Mhm.
understand the content. Because
Yeah.
at the same time, you don't want to overdo it. Because when you overdo it, then you know, I can't tell you how many times I've been disappointed when I
Mhm.
brought something, and then like the person I brought it from, like they like overdid it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't need to, go to that length. Just
Like lipstick on a pig kind of situations.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm at a 100, and you're like at a 200. I need you to be at 100
It needs
because
to
if
be
you're,
real. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, don't make, yeah. It needs exactly. It needs to be real. Don't make it,
Yeah.
seem all fake. Because when it sounds fake, when the video that you bought from somebody is when it feels like that, it's like that's not. Oh my god, I can't tell you how many times I've been disappointed about that. But I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't. I let them know. I mean, I was respectful about it. I let them
Hmm.
know. I was like,
For
you
sure.
know, you gave me what I wanted, but next time don't don't do this and don't do that.
Hmm.
I was respectful and gave them respectful feedback, and then they took
Yeah.
that and they took that into accountability, and then the next time I brought something for them, they cleaned it up, and I was
Well,
like, okay, yeah,
good.
this is good.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's what you need to do. That's what anybody that is, I mean, we can't read your mind as content creators. Yeah, we can listen, we can take that information in, but at the end of the day, we're not you and we have our own vision. So you have to relay as much as you can over to us. And then criticism is not a bad thing if you use it properly. Be like,
Exactly.
well, I really like what you did here. This was kind of like farther than I wanted to go. Can we like tone it back a little bit? And that's cool.
Yeah.
Communication is key. That's how everybody's happy.
Exactly, and that's, I mean, like feedback is good on both
Mhm.
spectrum, whether it's good
Yeah,
or bad. I mean, on the bad side, it just depends how they say it. If they're
right.
saying, if they're saying that this is the video that you sent me is garbage, you suck, and all that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a different type. That's a different
Productive.
level.
You have to have a
Yeah,
productive vocabulary. You can't be like a
yeah.
shitbag. Yeah.
yeah, you have to give constructive criticism,
Yes. I
don't sit there
completely
and,
agree.
yeah, don't sit there and if they're saying that your video sucks and all that, that's not constructive criticism. That's
Mm-hmm.
just being an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And constructive
100%.
constructive criticism is well, constructive criticism is so next time when you make a video, could you tone this down,
Yeah.
basically pointing out the things that they need to correct to, the next time if you buy something for them that it'll be, they can fix it in the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And it's one of those things like we were talking about earlier. We can't read your mind. We're not robots.
Hmm.
We need that kind of feedback too. And if someone does something that you really like, give that positive reinforcement. I really love what you did here. Because
Hmm.
if you purchase again, what are they going to do? They're going to remember that. Oh, they really liked when I did this. You know what
Yep.
I mean? So it's
Hmm.
one of those things where you got to be productive and you have to communicate.
Exactly. Communication goes a long way.
Yes, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about I know you said that you're really open with your fetish now. You're confident in who you are and what you like. Is it one of those things that you just share with the people close to you, or is it something that you're like extended family and like your extended friends, like people from high school? How do you feel about them knowing? Are you still kind of on the fence about letting people like out, that aren't inside of your circle know, people that aren't close to you?
Um, well, as far as in terms of the people that are close, yeah, I had like my family doesn't know anything about that, and
Okay.
even if they did find out, like I could care less. But
Okay.
like people outside, I would have to say that I would have to feel comfortable around them
Hmm.
before I even bring it up because I don't want to
Right.
sit there and bring it up and
Feel
then
like you got to explain yourself.
yeah, I
Yeah.
got to sit there and explain myself, and I don't want to do that. So, if it's someone new that I've met,
Hmm.
I sit there, get to know them first, and
Right.
then once I get to know them, then then I'll go ahead and ask the question.
Right.
I'll ask them. I'll say, so I'm in the feet. Would you be willing to let me see your feet?
Hmm.
And if they say yes, then I mean, cool beans. If they say no, I'm not gonna sit there and get mad.
Right, right.
Like I'm not
Respectful.
gonna
Be
sit there. Yeah, I'm not
respectful.
gonna sit there and get mad. Like it is what it
Yeah.
is. Some people feel comfortable. Some people feel comfortable with it. Some people don't.
Hmm. Yes, I completely agree. And it's another one of those things. If it's not for you, cool. If it is for you, cool. Like just accept that people are different and like create a community that is more accepting and more educated, and everyone around you is going to flourish.
Exactly.
That's where I get stuck. So talking about that kind of with the acceptance and spreading around kind of education. I've done extensive amounts of research, kind of about trauma, where it stems from,
Same
and
here.
kind of how we develop it as people. So that leads me to my next question about you, Kevin. So in your life, whether it be your childhood, maybe you were a teenager, any time throughout that or early adulthood, did you experience any kind of trauma, whether it be physical, mental, sexual, emotional? Did you have any trauma in your life?
Um, I would say the only. No, not really. I mean, if you count a breakup trauma,
Okay.
trauma. If you count that, then I mean
Right.
that's probably about the closest thing that I would say comes to that. Like, um, I was in a relationship with a girl that I like really liked, and
Hmm.
she knew that I really liked her and whatnot.
Right.
And then it came down to the point to where she ended up breaking up with me, and it like really hurt my feelings. And
Right.
I ain't gonna lie, it took me a while to like it took me a while to get over that.
Hmm.
Like And
was this a relationship that was like in your teen years or your early adulthood?
yeah, it was more in my early adulthood.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it took me a while to get over that. Like, oh my God, like my feelings was like so hurt. Like
Mhm.
I've never, I mean, I've had someone break up with me, but this one was different.
Right.
And like going through the emotions and whatnot, like it took me a while to, get over that. Like it literally took for my uncle to literally sit down and have a talk with me because uh he had noticed it, but he had noticed that, I wasn't myself. I
Hmm.
wasn't like, real cheerful and whatnot. He
Right.
noticed that I was just like quiet and very distant, you know, and he took me to the side and he like asked me, he was like, look, I know there's something wrong with you. Like,
Mm.
tell me what it is. And then, I kept saying it's nothing, it's nothing. And it was like, it's obviously something
Right.
because, you're not yourself. You just tell me what it is. And then when I told him what it was, he was like, he was like, oh, he's like, I understand how that is and whatnot.
Hmm.
I went through it before, but at the same time, you're gonna, I'm glad that you actually felt this type of feeling,
Right. So
because
you know how to deal with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
because now later on in life, if this were to happen, you'll be
Right.
able to deal with it now.
Yeah.
And
More prepared.
yeah, you're more prepared. So like if
Hmm.
this happens again, you're not, I mean, you'll be in your feelings, but you won't be in your feelings like you are right now.
Right.
Yeah. So it took me, I want to say it took me 2 months just to get over that.
Yeah.
It took me 2 months to get over that.
And
When I
I
finally,
mean, when you're attached to somebody like that, though, it's one of those things that everybody kind of has their own processing time.
mhm,
And you have to find what's best for you. You have to practice self care. You have to make sure that you are actually processing emotions and not hiding them because most people will try to hide that shit. And
yep,
then whenever it does resurface, they feel all these crazy emotions at once and they're just overwhelming and overstimulating. And it's exhausting.
exactly. So yeah, if you've never felt that type of feeling before, I'm just letting you know right now. If you go to that, yeah, go ahead, get in your feelings, let it
Right.
out. And
Yeah.
then after let it out, it's time for you to recover because the more you
Yes.
keep thinking about it and all that other nonsense, then the more it's just going to keep bringing you down and bringing you down and bringing it down.
Hmm.
It's going to bring you so low down. Then now that you're going to start thinking about things that you shouldn't even be thinking about in the first
Right.
place. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
then it's even
so
harder
you
to come back.
exactly. So
Yeah.
when you get into those type of feelings, just deal with the emotions. Just deal with the emotions. If you got to
Yeah.
cry, go ahead, cry. Don't. It's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. If you got to cry,
Hell
let it
no.
all out.
Yeah.
Just let it all out. And then once you let it all out, it's time for you to recover. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Don't.
Yes. It's literally therapy steps that you have to take through recovery,
Hmm.
like anything else. And I think most people just get confused and think that, oh, well, I'm not supposed to have that emotion. No, you are supposed to have that
Yeah, you're
emotion.
supposed
You're
to
a
have
fucking
that.
human being.
Exactly. That's what makes you a human being. If you have
Hmm.
no type of emotions, then you're not a human being. Like
Yep.
you have to have some type of emotions and
Yep.
you have to let those emotions out. If you want to
Hmm.
let them out privately, that's fine. If you want to let it out by talking to someone, I mean, go and have at it.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. I completely agree. So that kind of leads me to the next question. So we were talking about kind of letting stuff out, just expressing yourself. So let's take a small dive back to kink. When it comes to kink, people are attracted to a wide spectrum, as we talked about. How do you feel about the kind of more abnormal kinks? And do you have any abnormal kinks, like not traditional kind of kinks?
Um, I would have to say no, to be honest, unless, I mean, then again, it might take the right person to find that, you know. And
Hmm.
so,
Exactly.
yeah, it may take the right person to find it because, yeah, it just depends on the person. Like,
Hmm. Well, Like, I have found that so many people have so many interests that they're not aware of. And I'll give you a good example. I was actually doing a custom for this guy that had a thing for gloves. I never in
Mm-hmm.
a million years thought that I would have a thing for gloves. Okay. So I've been
Mm-hmm.
filming, I filmed, holy shit. I ended up getting over 2 years. I've had 10 customs from him. And I'm going to tell you, he is hardcore into gloves and boots, which is cool. I've noticed myself that now I have a thing for gloves because I was helping him. I didn't even have a thing for gloves. But
Uh-huh.
that's the beauty of kind of finding yourself. You don't
Yeah,
have to be kind of stuck to one thing. And you don't have to be like, oh, well, that's really weird.
exactly.
Only weirdos would like this. Well, guess what? I'm a fucking weirdo.
Exactly. Like, see, I mean, yeah, like there are things that you don't, there, like you may think that you know yourself, but
Yeah.
like I said, it takes the right person to find
Yeah.
something that you never thought that you would ever, thought that you would like.
That's right.
And
My whole
when that,
thing for bringing that up is if anybody's listening and you're kind of scared to dive into fetish, you're kind of just scared to embrace parts of you. You have to take that dive in order to learn yourself. Just like Kevin was talking about earlier, he kind of was more shameful in the beginning, and then over time he's like, "Well, fuck all this. I like feet, and I'm going to like
yep.
feet." Like, you have to embrace that part of yourself, love that part of yourself. You deserve it.
Hmm.
And without giving to yourself like that, you're never going to be able to live up to your full potential. Because, I mean, what has your kinks done for you? Like, what have they made you feel? The majority of people I talk to, their kinks did something for them. So,
Hmm.
Kevin, what has yours done for you? Like, what has it helped you realize about yourself, or what has it taught you?
It's helped me, basically it just helped me, embrace my foot fetish. Like it like helped me like truly embrace it. And,
Yeah.
like I said, like I finally broke out that shell once I, got comfortable talking to enough people about it. And, that's where, I put my mind together and I was like, you know what, fuck it. I mean,
Yeah.
this is what I like. I can't be ashamed by it. I mean, this is just what I like. Like,
Right.
there's nothing wrong with it. Like,
Yeah. So it kind of taught you to accept and love yourself, even
yeah,
if not everyone was okay with it.
exactly.
Yeah. I love it. I fucking love it. Acceptance. I love it. It gets so excited. Okay, so another kink question. Do you have any hard limits? You're just like, hell no, fuck no, like that is not for me at all.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I
Tell
do
me.
have some limits. Um, what? Oof. Mm, oh man, I got a list. It's like way, man. Ooh, I got a list of things that I like. I'm like, whoa, no, no. I mean, nah, no. We're just gonna agree to disagree and just leave it right there. Um, gosh, like, you know what? If you do another interview with me, I'll come back to that question. Okay,
Okay.
I'll come back to that because, like I said, I got a list, and yeah, if I tell you that list, we'll be here
Yeah, all
we'll be
night.
here, yeah, we'll be here all night, all morning, yeah. And I don't want to sit there
So
and
you're saying
take up all your time.
you have more hard limit, well, soft and hard limits than you do
Yeah,
kinks.
yeah. So, yeah, I'll say that question for another time because I don't want to sit here and waste your time and go through that
Okay.
in details and explain myself.
Okay. We can save it for the next one. I'll hold you to that.
Okay.
So I'll ask you this one last question, and it's one that I feel is extremely appropriate. And I feel like you're this fucking teddy bear that people need to hear this from. So my last question is, if you could say something to someone that is struggling with their desire, what advice would you give them?
um, if there's someone struggling with their desire, I would literally tell them that, just take a step back. Everything's going to be okay. I understand how you feel and whatnot about the thing that you're in. Just, you know, take a step back, breathe, and just like we said before, just go on Google,
Yeah.
search it, do your research on it,
Yeah.
see how other people think about it. I mean, just go through, go on forums and whatnot. Go like
Yeah.
a best, go to Reddit. Reddit is like a number one source another
Mhm.
number one source that you can go to because you can see like how other people feel like, how other people feel
Right.
with it. And then on
Mhm.
top of that, you can also, like engage with them
Yeah, you can
and
see how they interact.
yeah, see how they interact. And then I mean, eventually you'll find that one person that'll just, explain it. They'll basically tell you how they felt, and how they
Yeah.
overcame it. And, once that happens, then, that's when you just need to go ahead and, embrace it and, you know,
Find your
just embrace it.
tribe. Yeah.
Exactly. Just embrace it. That's all you have to do. You don't got to sit
Yeah.
there and, you don't have to sit there and feel ashamed of it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because embracing it is the number one thing. When you
Yeah.
embrace it, like you will not have a care in the world what other people say about you.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to overcome. Once you embrace it, then you will have zero care in the world what other people say because
Mm.
because you're in the shell and you're like very sensitive on like what people say about you. So,
Right.
so for an example, if someone were to like randomly bring it up, and it's something that's the thing that you're in, and they're sitting here saying, "Well, this guy, I find out that someone's into this, then they're a freaking weirdo." You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And when you hear that, you're just like, "Well, I'm into it," and
Right.
it'll bring you down, and
Yeah.
you don't have to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Just do your research and whatnot. If that's how they feel, you know what? That's how they feel. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Don't feel. I mean, don't
Doesn't
feel
mean you
ashamed
have
for
to
what
feel that way.
they
Yeah.
exactly. That's how they feel. You have to separate your feelings from other people's feelings. And
Yeah.
once you separate your feelings from other people's feelings, like nothing will bother you.
Yeah.
Nothing will bother you. You will embrace it to the max, to the core,
Yes.
you know.
Because
And
there's
that's
power in educating yourself. Damn it.
exactly, exactly. So the number one thing that you need to do is you need to do one, you need to research about it. Two,
Hmm.
you need to figure out a way how to embrace it. And then
Yes.
once you figure out how to embrace it, then like I said, you will have zero care in the world what other people think. It's
Yes.
nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's nothing wrong. That's just something you like.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Stop these fucking ridiculous stereotypes. Be educated, learn about yourself and other people, and let's just have all these fucking amazing experiences together in the adult industry.
Exactly. 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 That's all. At the end of the day, it's all about what you want to do and what you like. That's what
Yeah.
it is. That's what it all comes
You
down
owe
to.
it to yourself to love yourself.
Exactly.
Learn to love yourself. Thank you so much, Kevin, for being so amazing, for giving all this information from not only a client's perspective, but someone that is a part of the kink community, because I feel like not enough light is shined on the kink community. It's seen as kind of a taboo kind of thing, and that's not what it is at all. Everybody has some kind of kink in them. I think a lot of people are just
Hmm.
scared of it.
Yeah, scared to express it because
Yeah.
they're scared of how people are going to judge them about it, and
Yep.
you shouldn't be scared about how people are going to judge you about something that you like. If that's something you like,
Yes.
then that's something you like.
That's a
Just
part of
fucking
you.
deal with it.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Just deal with
Love yourself, damn it. We're gonna love ourselves by the time this shit's over. Okay.
exactly, exactly.
Thank you so much. And thank you guys for coming to another episode of Forbidden Depths. It was super awesome having you and super awesome for you guys helping the channel continue to grow. Thank you again, Kevin, for being here. And I hope you guys have
No problem.
Hey, it's Queen Frostbitten again, your host. I just want to remind you that you can follow us on YouTube at Forbidden Depths. That's FORBIDDENDEPTHS. Or over on Twitter at the number 4 BIDDENDPODCAST. Remember to always stay educated, consensual, and safe. We'll see you on the next show.